Beautiful. Hi, we're streaming. We're working for Milo today, and we're making some animations. We have completed this complicated shot for the next video, where we talk about the octagon and the moon positioning. So I'm gonna press play.
If you stand there, sight through that gateway and out through that gateway,
Whoa.
you're looking at where the moon rises at its northernmost point on the eastern horizon.
Wow.
And if you stand in this gateway and sight right along that wall, you're looking at where the moon rises at its southernmost point on the eastern horizon. There are actually 4 points on the eastern horizon, the northernmost rise and the southernmost rise, and then the southernmost of the northernmost rises and the northernmost of the southernmost rises.
Okay, so yes, it gets a little complicated at the end, and that's what we're going to try to untangle and make it clearly represented. And I just want to take some time to explain the process of what I'm thinking and why I'm doing what I'm doing. Because I think it'd be interesting. I don't know. Maybe it'll be a total failure. Who knows? But it's a simpler project. It's a simpler component. This is what we're working with. This is going to be when the camera pans up and out, and we're just going to overlay these arrow graphics, and we're going to animate them one at a time when Brad talks about each one. I just got off the phone with him, and he explained it to me, and it was a fun call. That was really cool to be working on a video for a month, and then you talk to the person on the phone, and it's like, oh man, you're almost a celebrity in my brain. And he is. He should be. He's a good guy. So I'm going to press play on this one now. Yep, I'm going to press play on this one now.
There are actually 4 points on the eastern horizon, the northernmost rise and the southernmost rise, and then the southernmost of the northernmost rises and the northernmost of the southernmost rises, and then 4 corresponding.
Okay, we're gonna stop right there, and we're just gonna like start breaking this down. All right, so there is no alpha channel, unfortunately, so I'm gonna come in here and do some little hacky crap to see through this. I'm gonna put a hue saturation on here. This is not a tutorial. This is more so a process for working when you have dense material, perhaps. I don't know how to describe it exactly, but I just want to, here we go. I want to start colorizing this so we can color code some of these things and it'll make more sense. So what he's describing are the moon rises and the moon sets, and the vernacular vocabulary gets a little bit lost on me, and it will for the viewer. So I want to clear it up so it's like super clear. So all I'm going to do here is have moonrise, moonrise, moonrise. Anywhere it says a moonrise, those are all going to be the same color. Good. Now that totally masked it out. That's fine. But inside of effects, I'm going to come in here, and this is going to be compositing options, hit plus, and it'll only apply to that. Okay, so that's those 4. And this is where in my brain I was very confused. It shouldn't have been that complicated, but I think it got overwhelming. So if it gets complicated for old Kale, it's going to get complicated for any viewer probably. Okay, so we're going to do that process again for the moon sets. And you can see that these other ones, the label just says moon set, and that's perfect. It's simple. We're breaking this down already. My advice whenever people are doing any presentation, like representation of information, presentation is what I'm talking about, you start breaking it down. So I'm going to duplicate this again, and I'm just going to change the mask of this to mask 2. Good, and now we can rotate this color to something else. And I think I'm going to have this orange be a set, and then I'm going to change this first one to be blue or something, because kind of more in line. So kind of like sunrise, sunset. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But now this data has kind of been broken in half, so it's easier to parse a lot of ways. And maybe, we could have just like flashed this pre-drawn diagram that we downloaded from Google or wherever it came from. I don't know the direct source. Whoever made it, thank you, because it's useful. But I want to, have our diagram draw on, and that's what's actually going to be overlaid onto this video in time in 3D space, and it'll be a Milo production sort of. So I'm just going to continue working on this, and I can't speed it up. This is a live stream, so you're just going to have to deal with me umming and awing and going through the process, but someone might get a kick out of this, someone might not. All right, I am using a thing called Connect Layers Pro, and that allows me to connect the layers with arrows and then animate them, and also have a point at the beginning and a point at the end. And I'm just basing it off this diagram. I probably should have done a whole fresh design, but this production has already gone too far, so we don't have time for that. I'm just gonna get working on this. So connect these layers. Oh, it doesn't need to be 3D. There we go. That's beautiful. Now we've got this point, and I'm also going to go to that bottom layer, and I'm just going to lower it just so we can see what we're working with. Maybe even 25. Good. We're breaking it down. Doop, doop. Good. And I have it coming in later, and he says there's 4 points. So I think that the other one is this one right here. So these two are right next to each other. That might be hard to see. I don't know how to separate those visually, but people will see the 4 arrowheads, I'm hoping. But we'll just play it by ear, and if something stinks, we're going to change it after the fact. I will separate them in time so they come on at different times. And now I'm going to move them, and there's some interesting things going on with the alignment of the map and what ours actually looks like. So we have to nudge these points on ours to match the set points of our 3D model. It's not 100% accurate, and it doesn't need to be. We just want to be consistent with what we're doing. I'm going to go ahead and put this right on the wall, kind of like we have. Saving's important. Enable your autosave. Kind of like how we have this one. Something like that. And then this one. So these two are going to go together. Connect that layer. Boom. We got a straight line. Oh, and this is where we're going to have to not fudge it. We're not fudging it. I don't know. We're just we're illustrating the concept of the moonrises. We're not doing a one-for-one reconstruction of exactly where they are. That's like the main takeaway. It's hard for me to remember that sometimes, but that's what we just want to remember that. Okay, and this is where I'm going to come in my little plugin thing, and yes, this is why I use the plugin, because it has taken all of the work out of making an arrow. I can hide all these controllers and start to get some of these values copied over. If I was smart, I would connect them with expressions, but there's only 8 of them. It's not that hard. So this one over here, we want arrow as well. Good. Circle, triangle, that's the arrow. And now we just want to try and get the sizes right. So this has a triangle scale of 200, square circle start size of 30. 30, 200, it'll be consistent. 30, 200. There we go. And let's go ahead and just like directly out the middle of the gateway. Will be good. Sweet. So we just we just cracked it open. We cracked the code. I'm excited. I feel good. I feel great. Let me your time today. Thank you again for your time today. Be grateful for other people's times. Sometimes just like 5 minutes of someone's time makes your whole day go easier and brighter. And sometimes people are busy, they're not open for it. But when the overlap is there and it's possible, it feels so good to collaborate. I love it. I love it. All right, and yeah, model's not perfectly, so the person's just gonna stand a little bit to the side. We're just gonna deal with that, whatever. I don't know. My perfectionism is triggering, but there's also the need to finish projects, which is triggering as well. Sweet. All right, and now I'm gonna move this so it doesn't pop on until then, and I'm gonna hide our bottom layer. Oof. A lot of layers. It gets going pretty fast.
There are actually 4 points on the eastern horizon, the northernmost rise and the southernmost rise, and then the southernmost of the northernmost rises and the northernmost of the southernmost rises. There are actually 4.
Good. I just want to make sure that that is what he says.
The southernmost of the northernmost rises and the northernmost of the southernmost rises.
I'm not sure about those two differences, so I'm just gonna leave it, and people can kind of. I should be able to figure it out. Let me figure it out. I'll figure it out.
The southernmost of the northernmost rises and the northernmost of the southernmost rises, and then for the southern.
Yeah, I think this is right. I think this is right. It could be wrong. If it is, I'm sorry, but I'm trying. I just want to keep finishing stuff.
And the northernmost of the southernmost rises, and then 4 corresponding set points.
Okay, so now that I'm looking at this, I probably should have built this a totally different way, where I animate on these initial points first. But I can do that for this next pass and fix it on the other ones later on. Okay. So for here, what I want to do is, how big is this circle? The circle size is 30. So composition, new composition, we're going to make this 50 by 50, just in case. This is set point origin circle. I can spell, don't worry. Good. And double click on here. We can look at this full res. We don't need a, well, we do need a fill on this. We don't need a stroke on this. Good. Ellipse size, and if this goes down to 30, this is just my guess. It could be wrong. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it no matter what. I think I'm just gonna make this a different color so it's easier to see on my eyes. Great. All right, now I have to get into that same composition, so I'm just gonna do it this way, where I go out and come back in, and we made that new point. Don't look over here. This is a mess. I'm not proud of this. Circle. Oh, it's the newest one. Set point. Let's call it set point. Here we go. Draw this in. Okay. Now let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. So that is the same size. I was right. I was correct in my assumptions. So we're gonna place these points where people would stand. I think they would stand like in this little whole party area, but that's just my speculation. I don't know anything really. It would be pretty special in any of those spots to witness this stuff. I'm going to turn on continuously rasterize, and I'm going to make this animate up over like probably just half a second. 0. Make the second one F9 so it just goes bloop, bloop like that. Here, bloop. Good. So we got bloop there. So that's one set point. I want to lay out 4 set points for the sunset. one over here. I think that's a mound in there. It gets hard to decipher what exactly is going on. And I feel like you would stand outside of here and peer across the wall, but maybe not. No, you'd want to be inside of the circle. It's hard to know. In the circle on the wall. So that's one of them. Here's one of them. Oh, we did that one. There's supposed to be 4 of them though. So this is kind of like when we recolored that. We want to make it legible. So let's turn off half the, I don't want to call it crap, but half the visible stuff that we're looking at just to break it down more. Moon set, and we'll just backtrace these colored ones. That one, this one over here. Is this one speculative? Interesting. Okay. This is what I thought they described as a sweat lodge, but I think maybe actually that's that outer one. So maybe that's what this little circle mound is. But let's just keep tracing back. That one goes to there. Yep, so it's something like that. I think we'll just be faithful to the diagram, blame any problems on other people. That's just a bad joke, sorry. Let me delete these. All right, so let's name these. And he called them set points, so I'm going to call them moon set. Here we go. Sweet. Put that one there. Put this one. I don't know if it's going to go over ours. Like our model is just a little bit chunkier and fatter, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We want it to be visible from far away. There's a method to the madness for sure. There's that one, so that's really good. And then I want to have, oops. Of course, it's the last one I do. Whatever, that's fine. Shift and link it to the right one. Here we go. And now when we move this, that's all like one little big brain unit, which is good. Okay, let's go ahead and fix this. We want arrowhead. We remember our arrowheads are, we don't have it on that anymore. We do want the triangle on the end, and the triangle is going to be 200%. Good. Go in. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 60 frames, and we're going to trim it. You can do all of this with native expressions in After Effects and stuff, but I wanted to go faster. That's why I will pay the money for the plugin and have it go faster. Good. So all of this is one little component. I'm going to recolor it into something that is more distinctive and have it be separate. Unfortunately, you can't duplicate and reconnect your chains, so we just have to do it again. Just gonna go forward in time. And this one. So we're gonna link this. And sometimes you have to like invert your linking. I don't know if there's a shortcut for that. There should be, but it doesn't matter. all going to come on later. Good. This is this one up here. Don't worry, I can I can read. I can read. Arrowhead, trim path. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Trim, in, 0, end, triangle. This is all out of order, but I remember what I'm doing. And now it is drawing 1, drawing 2. Good. We can fill all these colors in with white later. It's just so we can see the differences right now. Sweet. Just 2 more and then this is done. This is where one phone call can make all the difference in the world. Alrighty. And I will go back and name these outside of recording. I probably won't. I should, but this one will go here to this, yes. There we go. And this one is going to be over here somewhere. This. We got this. We got this. It's good to say you got this and be like, yeah, I know how to do this now. I know how to do this now. And this endpoint goes down over here. Okay. Connect from the start to the end, connect it, connect. We want an arrow, we want to trim. Let's go to the endpoint of this layer, match the whatever of that layer, go down 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 60 frames, end, change the end of the trim, change the start of the trim to 0. We are going to have the end be a triangle, and it's going to be 200%. And it might be chunky, it might be big and ugly, but we can change it. We can always change it. We just have to get something out there before you start changing it, in my opinion. Okay, good. And I can't tell. I think it's going to be something like this. I'm not sure if we're going to put the names of these sets, moon sets and stuff on, or if it's just going to be too messy. Good, another one. And this is what I do. This is what we do. This is how we make all the map animations. There's nothing automatic about it. Very little AI. I mean, the only AI I use is mostly generative fill in Photoshop, which I think is pretty darn cool, but some people don't even like that. Everything based in reality, facts, and knowledge. Sometimes there's some artistic liberties and speculation, just giving these different chunks of animation, different component chunks of animation, different colors, because it can get hard to read in the timeline what you're looking at. So we got this one. Okay, so that's the end. And we have one last circle. Oh, this weird little sweat lodge debated one. See, and that's me speculating, but I'm not. I don't know. I've heard it. I've heard these words from someone else there talk about it. Link that to that one. Unlink it. Link the circle to that one. Now they share the same space. And The connection. Great. Arrowhead. Trim. Wonderful. Oops. All of these are going to be left butted together, and we're going to change these colors to something else. Sweet. All right, on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Animate the trim. 0. The end triangle at the end scale is 200.
Into this architecture, as well as the other circle and octagon and chakothy.
Now we can listen to it in context. Let's maybe go ahead and turn off that background image again, so we can see what our documentation is looking like. All these.
There are actually 4 points on the eastern horizon, the northernmost rise and the southernmost rise, and then the southernmost of the northernmost rises and the northernmost of the southernmost rises, and then 4 corresponding set points. Alignments to all 8 of those are built into this architecture, as well as the
other circle and octagon and Chillicothe 60 miles.
All right, so it's pretty good. It's just mostly the timing is what I would need to clean up. So a lot of these much earlier. The only animation we should have are the trim paths. That's what we do have. F9. You and all of these have been built the same, which is great. I think coming on over 60 seconds, that's, you know, that's 60 frames, 2 whole seconds is probably too slow. So I'm going to speed that up. I'm going to speed it up by 1, 2, 3. We're going to go to half. Should all be the same duration right now, which is good. Autosave, yes. There's 1,000 other comps in this. That's why it takes a while to save. But let's just see this here.
And then 4 corresponding set points. Alignments to all 8 of those are built into this architecture, as well as the other circle sizes. And then 4 corresponding set points.
Alignments to all 8 are built into this,
as well as the other circle
and octagon
in Chillicothe 60 miles south called High Bank Works.
Wow.
And then 4 corresponding set points. Alignments to all 8 of those are built into this architecture.
I don't know why this one comes on so much later, it feels like. So there's 4 there, and then there's 4 going this way. It look so crazy. But I think this is where I will go through and colorize them, and they'll be slightly different color from each other, and we'll at least be able to tell the 2 sections of them apart. But I'm going to go ahead and call this good. It was like 30-minute work session, a brief little peek into what goes on behind the curtain. Nothing super elaborate, nothing anybody else couldn't do, but I get to do it for Milo, and you get to watch it for him. So hope you enjoyed.